Nope, you're right. The mics weren't on.
Well, there we go. Mic check 1, 2.
Mic check 1, 2. I brought that song up to you recently, didn't I? Mic check 1, 2. I'm not going to be able to sing it.
Monkey body, mic check 1,
yeah.
2, and it ain't a party till the groove come through. Everyone.
That was a bop when I was a kid. But it makes me feel really old because when I used to enjoy that, it was in front of the music channels in my living room downstairs.
Where you could
My own.
pay 50p and like put a request in and stuff. Do you remember those?
My God.
They were cool.
Oh, I remember that. What was that channel called?
Well, I know there was like MTV and stuff like that, but I can't remember what the...
There was that specific one, weren't there? And the music at the time was like Akon Lonely. I remember there was a lot of like Paramore. Oh God, Fizz.
I can't. Do you know what? I know Lee would know because I know that his sisters used to kind of. He had 3 sisters, and they'd all be going wild.
If you know what we're talking about, please put it in the chat, put it in the comments, because...
Well, Kat and Luke, hi girls, they're both there, and I'm sure one of them's going to remember what this channel was called.
It's like Biz or the box.
There was the box.
I remember the box. It was like...
Well, both Kat and Lou have both suggested the box, and then Kat's saying about Kiss. I remember Kiss and Kiss 3 and Kerrang. What's Kerrang?
I loved Kerrang. Kerrang and Scuds. They were my jams. But I remember it being not as high quality production as like Kiss and the box. It was like...
Yeah.
Almost like a camgirl level of like production.
It's like our level. Text us and pay us 50p and we'll play a track of your choice.
We'll do pretty much anything at this point.
We'll dance. We can be your new music channel.
Well, yeah, sure. You can see my feet as well if you want. I feel like that.
We're all out for this new year. It's like any tactic, we're up for it.
That's what we're trying to display, that there is nothing you cannot do.
Indeed.
Yeah, sell feet pics. Make your money however you've got to make it. But yeah, this is the first episode of the year. It is the 3rd of January.
2024.
My word. I was about to say, where has 2023 gone? But it has been jam-packed. As much as it's felt like it's gone by really fast, looking back through like my phone camera, all the pictures and stuff like that, there's so much that's happened. And I'm kind of like, how did I live all that life?
Yeah, we did a lot. We went to a lot of places. We saw a lot of gigs.
Many gigs.
I feel like last year, 2023, was the year that we kind of took the podcast out there. You know, we were really trying to drum up some attention. We were going all over the UK.
Yeah, I think for our own like confidence levels as well. You know, just like getting comfortable being like in public, like we have a pod now. It's like second nature to me. Like it's cringe as hell, sure, but I have a podcast and we really enjoy doing it.
The thing I want to get better at is being like this in public and talking to the camera and not being so self-conscious of what I'm doing. But I think that's come from the influencer nature. People are looking at you, oh, look at her taking photos of herself, videoing herself. And I'm like, I can't explain. I need a big t-shirt that says I'm recording for my podcast, or something that makes you feel better for looking so vain in public places.
It's one of them things, isn't it, where you're like, I just need to block it out of my, you know, anyone that's got anything negative to think about me or even say about me right now is their own problem.
Yeah.
But then you try and put your phone up in public and you're like, I think I am.
Yeah. And it's like, sometimes I have these visions of I'm going to have like all these people behind me and it'll be a really busy chock-a-block scene behind and I'll be chatting away and explaining to TikTok what's going on. And then I'm like, hi, the camera's away. So embarrassed.
I know what you mean. I get dead confident. I did it yesterday. I was just having a gentle stroll, talking to my camera, explaining the mess that I was in, trying to get my car key and all these different things. And as I was walking past this guy that I didn't pay attention to as he was walking past, but he said something like, hello, like there. And I just went, like, why am I so embarrassed? I was doing it. I was confident with it until my brain realised he could see me.
Yeah, knew what you were doing. I had, when I was recording a poem, me and one of the units that I was working with, we were down at the canals. I think we were painting some railings, and I went off to record this poem because I was determined to get it done, put. And this lad went by on a bike, must have saw what I was doing, because then he came back past and wheeling, you know, and I love it. It's brilliant, like, because I was trying to concentrate on reading this poem, and in the camera behind, I just see him go by, wheeling, and I thought, brilliant. He saw what I was doing, turned around and came back to, like, put on a bit of a show for the camera. I thought that was great.
Yeah, thank you. If you ever see me trying to do something, feel free to wheelie about whatever you've got going on. Like, amen to the people that want to give you background.
Yeah, definitely. Well, shall we play the intro then after that chat of if you've got any tips on how we can film ourselves and not look like idiots? I think we've just got to lean into it.
Let's roll with it. They don't want anything different. Been here this long. Roll that intro.
Why is it like this? The haters should be loved, being fighting. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of haters should be loved, we invite in. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous.
I'm gonna get my new toy out. Oh.
I kind of missed the clapperboard.
Well, I mean, it should be that way, shouldn't it? But that's too awkward for me, so I always turn them around. Welcome 2024.
From your favourite right-handed and left-handed neurodivergent.
I don't know where the other clapperboard's gone.
The clapperboard is...
Is it here?
I think it is here. It's... Yes.
I was saying to Lou, though, when we first started the podcast nearly a year ago, and I ordered that clapperboard online, it was quite expensive, and then I found this in One Beyond for £1. So...
Do you know what's crazy as well? I learned that by clapping, it's actually a way clearer sound for you to be able to match it with the...
Oh, is it? Then actually the clapperboard.
It's so funny, but there is something that feels good about making it. If anyone's just tuning in new now, when we started this, it was always pre-recorded, and then around the summertime, we were like, should we just try and do it?
Yeah, we went live. We went live for a special show, didn't we? And then really enjoyed it, and we're like, let's just go live every week.
Yeah, definitely. The idea of not having to go and edit it after and just be like, well, it's out there now. Whatever I said is said.
Yeah, that is the only kind of downfall. That whole impulsive nature of, you know, just having to be a little bit aware that it is live and what we say is going to go straight out.
Impulsive emotion and impulsive thoughts is a core part of ADHD, and who would we be if we were suppressing them?
And I think it's actually been quite good practice for, well, confidence, for speaking, kind of finding your voice, you know.
It's still yet to speak a sentence that fully makes sense.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's part and parcel of going live has pushed us.
I'm nowhere near as embarrassed now.
Yeah. No, same. And even if before I was petrified of what if I lose my train of thought, you know, what will I do? Whereas now, if I lose my train of thought, I'm just honest. Let's say, sorry, I've forgotten what I was talking about. You know, can anybody remind me?
Hey, no, if it's maths, sorry, can't do that, no idea. Yeah, if I forgot where I'm at, I have no idea what I was just saying then, sorry. Or what was the question you asked? Because I've gone on too long, sorry.
Well, I think that this year should be about pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones.
100%. But it's hard for us, right? So how do we make it easier?
Well, I am recording.
Recording on her phone.
How do we make it easier? We have a solution, as always. Dun, dun, dun.
Love what it says on the back. Oh my God. That's just giving me chills. Okay. So we're going to show this in the most influencer way possible. A different resolution 2024. And on the back, change. It's gonna happen anyway.
That's the thing. That is the only thing we are guaranteed, other than our unfortunate demise at the end of this life. The only other thing that we're guaranteed is that there's going to be change.
100%.
Change every single day. You know, there's change all of the time. So the more you try and resist the more stagnant your energy will become.
Yeah, and if someone says, you've changed, say, I'm supposed to.
Oh my goodness, I literally used that the other day. Somebody said, you've changed, we're supposed to. Thank you. I appreciate that you noticed that.
Why have you not?
Yeah, why have you not changed? Well, and the thing is, the neurodivergent community can find change really hard to deal with. So I think that's why we wanted to provide some structure, some guidance, and encouragement for change.
In the least pressuring way.
Yeah.
Ever. I love this. It's such a good tool. And like, selfishly created to help us. But like we said, we're here to help us and you at the same time, because we're all in the same boat here.
Yeah.
So let's do it together, because nothing is easier done than when you've got someone doing it with you. So what better than a whole community?
Well, the other thing is the demand avoidance. You know, we're always thinking about neurodivergency and the extra things that gives us. And the trouble is, if somebody says, right, this year you're going to do this, you automatically think, no, I'm not. Oh, no, I'm not. Watch me. Force me to do it. See if you can. So,
or even if, you know what, that sounds like a good idea, I won't remember to anyway. I'll lie down in bed that night and think, I was supposed to do that thing today.
Yeah. And I was talking to my cousin earlier, shout out Soph.
Shout out, Soph.
We were saying about how usually the pattern of the year is January hits. The first week, you're probably quite excited to be doing your new things. So you're like working out in your new clothes and, you know, you got your new water bottle down the gym, whatever it is.
Yep.
And then by February, you just feel like a loser, a failure.
You don't even...
You know, beating yourself up.
You don't remember that person that set those goals. You're like, who was that?
Yeah. And as you kind of, you know, the diet hasn't gone to plan, the fitness hasn't been kept up with, the spending habits have gone back to how they used to be. And as you slowly but surely fail each one of your resolutions, it just kind of reaffirms that, oh, this is the way I'm meant to be. And, you know, nothing's ever going to change.
We might not be good at sticking to plans, but you know what we are good at? Self-criticism.
You've got that, yeah.
Down. So that's always there for us when we don't do what we wanted.
So this gives you that. Well, in fact, I mean, we can make a start. This is my copy, so I'm going to start doodling all over it at some point, make it my own.
Yeah. So we'd get doing it. This is once a month, right?
Yeah, once a month. You just need to pick something from the first page. Challenge yourself.
Give them a browse close up. Some of the things they can choose.
Do something totally new. Go somewhere new. Even pick up where you left off, because sometimes you kind of start things and then, you know, drift away from it, and you wish you had that opportunity to return to it. So, you know, it's just all about giving you really flexible options. So it's guidance. It's like somebody just giving you that gentle nudge, but without saying, this is what you've committed to for the year. Now you're stuck to it.
It provides a much more like fun perspective to go and tackle some things that you know are going to be hard, or you know that like you've just not been great at sticking to in the past. You're like, this is it now. This is my chance. And if you haven't got your booklet yet, don't worry, because look, we're going to be doing this all together. You may find that you relate sometimes to Lindsay's journey more to my journey. If you're very disciplined already, you might find yourself on a similar journey to Lindsay. If not, you might be like me, sat here without my book.
We thought it was here. It's a good job I remembered mine, though, so we'd have been like, we're going to do an episode on the book without the book.
The plan, forget the plan. Make a book, forget the book.
Hey, Jay.
I had a great Christmas and New Year, dude.
Yeah, Happy New Year, mate. Thank you for joining. Feel free to get involved in the chat.
Definitely.
I've just noticed that on here as well, it does say do something that brings excitement and do a task that brings peace of mind. So it is all about kind of just, whether it's stepping out of your comfort zone, pushing yourself, it's just to give you that little bit of a, you know, choose one.
I think it helps you reflect and like pick one. Again, not one, there's 12 prompts in here, but one of my problems is being like, oh, what do I do? And especially for people that don't smoke, maybe they don't drink, they're like, oh, what do I have to give up? What? Chocolate? I don't really eat that much chocolate. This really makes you think, what in my life didn't, you know, really daft one for me is I want to start roller skating. And I know I've got some girls that are coming with me. I know they're doing it. And it's a silly one. 100%. I wouldn't do it to not film content. My God.
We can't do anything without filming it to make content these days, can we?
Content brain.
To be honest, over Christmas, I did have to remind myself, just enjoy it, Linz.
Yeah.
Just keep your phone in your pocket and just enjoy it, because I overwhelm myself sometimes by capturing so much content and then not having the time to do anything with it, and then beating myself up that, well, you've not done anything with it. It's like, then you're allowed to enjoy life sometimes.
Yeah. You don't feel like you can delete it either, because you're like, well, I've not done anything with it yet. It's taking up space on your phone.
Yeah.
What do I...
The struggle is real. Any content creators out there will know what we're talking about. Now, I'm going to need your help, because I've already got stuck into my first new thing for the month. But I would like to know whether you think I have to go with do something totally new, or try something totally new, or pick up where you left off. Because I went last night to my, I want to say first ever breathwork workshop. But that would be a slight lie, because you and I at Community last year tried breathwork for the first time ever together. So yeah, I'm in a bit of a conundrum, because would you class that as trying, like, you know, picking up? It's not, for me, picking up where you left off is something that you were actually into.
It maybe suggests you're at a level of not just pure beginner in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that you started, and, you know, maybe you started a book and you never finished it. It's not the idea of like, I had the idea of starting a book and then maybe that is definitely
The good thing is you can make them work, however, and I suppose for me, I'm thinking...
She needs somewhere to justify it in her brain so it can sit well.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, now that I'm already talking it through is helping me give myself an answer, because I'm thinking I probably will go with try something new, because last night was nothing like that first ever experience that we had at Community. I mean, we were stood up for a start, weren't we? Whereas this was very much lying down, and we were on a meditation mat, and it was absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, the thing that we did at Community, it was a very niche type of breath work, wasn't it? Ones that are like, again, without going into the science of it.
Yeah.
It's just a very more intense, like, I think more breath work. There's a lot more wider range of it, and I feel like just having that one experience doesn't mean that you've necessarily
done it. Well, it's certainly, now I know, because obviously I went last night and I'm booked on to three more workshops during January, so that's why I feel like I can justify that as my trying something new, because I've committed. For those of you that are following me on social media, you'll know that I've given up smoking / vaping / nicotine, so I just thought it tied in quite nicely, like breath work, finding your breath. I thought hopefully by the end of the month I'm going to feel that difference anyway, because my lungs will have started to clear themselves out. So
I like that.
Yeah, but if you don't mind, if I can share a little bit of the experience of breathwork, like I don't know whether anybody in the chat has ever tried breathwork, but it's really, really hard work.
Breathing is hard work. This thing that we do on a daily basis.
Yeah. So she did warn us at the start, you're going to have to push yourself through your comfort zone. And I'm thinking, it's breathing. But it was really intense. So for a good 10 minutes to begin with, we were breathing in quite, and then just letting it exhale. But it was 4 in, 4 out, 4 in, 4 out. So it was, constant. And then after a good 10 minutes of that, we laid down, and then we were doing open mouth breathing in and out, and that was like really, again, sucking it in. And it was so, my face started contorting, like went all like crampy and started contorting. She did say it may well happen, it's like to do with the switch in carbon dioxide and stuff like that in your blood. My fingers were tingling, and then as I was lying there and thinking, I'm not sure if much is happening or whatever, because I was just very open-minded, didn't really know what to expect. I suddenly felt this pressure on my thighs, like real pressure, and then it moved all the way up until it was on my chest, like somebody was sitting on my chest, and it was like just shaking and tingling, and then my whole body started shaking all over. Wow. And yeah, it was definitely a blockage. I could feel it. It was like a whole lump of energy that was just stuck in me, that like it was so bizarre, and it was eerie but cool.
It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't understand what I felt. Intuitively, I felt like it was a chakra blockage, or it was trying to tell me that, maybe my heart chakra was blocked. So, I'm looking forward to the next session, because I feel like, each time I do it, I'm going to experience something new, or maybe release something new.
That's
It was very
really
strange.
interesting. I love that. I mean, like, even just like simple in out breath work, just 10 deep breaths, I stand by being one of the best things to help you make a decision, to calm down when you feel a little bit triggered. It's a great tool. But hearing that, like,
Yeah,
you can have this real experience, this, like,
it was so bizarre because I was like laying there and I was like everything's like paralyzed and I could feel this like lump in my, but it was so physical. I think that's what shocked me the most, like how physical it was. Like I don't know, but I'm really excited now about next week. But like I say, it was such hard work. I was laying there and I was having to fight through this almost like a panicky fight or flight type feeling that was just screaming, just leave, I hate this. And I don't know whether it was an emotional, like the emotions that were coming through that I needed to let go of.
well, you're an avoidant attachment type,
Yeah,
aren't you? So
yeah.
there is your first instinct to be like trying to avoid, get out.
Yeah,
But you stuck to it.
Yeah, I had to really fight through it. It was like doing a workout. Had she not been there talking the whole time, telling us to keep going, I'd have stopped. So it just shows you that it's, I don't know, it's so crazy.
I'm interested to see what your second session will be like.
Yeah,
after you've already you've had this experience of a blockage and you've come away and reflected on it and like I've just said, like you've avoidance. Now that you've shown yourself that not avoiding can get you more benefits, maybe that's like a lesson, like when the penny drops.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the cool thing is about this breath work is each session is a standalone. So I was going to say, if at any point you've got a Tuesday evening free in January and you want to join in on one of them, come along.
That sounds wicked. Yeah,
experience
definitely.
it. But so this one that I just did was all about setting your intentions for the year.
Okay. Next
week's is finding your voice, and apparently it's going to be really vocal. And that's like going to push me so far out of my comfort zone.
Do you know what? I couldn't. It's like what do you need to work on?
Yeah.
Let's go. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, I'm joining you.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
But if anybody is interested, her Instagram account is Breathing with Grace. And I will obviously still be, I'll be attending all January, so I can definitely bring you some more information. And I'm really intrigued to kind of find out how she got into it and, because she says that she does breath work at home and she'll just turn to the same breathing techniques, the ones that she enjoys doing, but she'll have a different experience every time.
Wow, okay. So it unlocks something new for her. Yeah. That's really interesting.
And even like a lady shared her thing last night that, because we were laying there and having to think about the intention we wanted to set for the year, and she had a voice clear as day in her head go, not that.
Wow.
Yeah, so everybody was having like really different experiences. I'm going to say I thought that came straight, but then I was like, oh, it's because they're thinking about gracefulness, aren't they? So it's like, I don't think it is that one. I think it's got full stops and things in it. But I will find the information by the end of the show.
Where was it held?
It was held at Leicester Breathing Space or something. Oh, here we go. There she is. It's held at some kind of breathing space in Leicester. Is that on Hotel Street?
Let's have look some more.
Well, it's loads of rooms.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, each that looks similar, that top one. But
Hotel Street.
Yeah, that's the place.
Right.
So they do loads of different things there, all around that, like yoga, obviously the breath work. This is the Instagram page. I know that's not very clear, but just
what was her name again? Is that her?
Well, it's at Breathing with Grace, but obviously that was bringing up too much because the word Grace itself is not a name, is it? All the time.
Grace Marie
Gina.
Yeah.
That's not it. Just don't worry.
But if you go to this place,
yes,
you'll be able to do it
there for sure. The other thing.
What time was it? Breathwork with Grace.
Yeah, that's the one. And she also does a Wednesday morning that you can just log in on Zoom. I think it's 7 till 7:30 in the morning. So it's like gets you invigorated and ready to work.
Very cool.
I was like, that would be all right if I ever dreamed of getting up at that time.
Kundalini yoga is something I've always wanted to try.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, you can reach DMT-like states through Kundalini yoga.
Well,
Has anyone tried any of these things in the chat? Let us know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Kundalini yoga, the fact that you've always wanted to try it can be one of you try something new months, can't it? It gives you the reason to go out there and try it. But with the breathing with grace, she explained to us that the area that it can trigger in your brain is the same area that psilocybin and hallucinogenics can trigger in the brain. So she was like, don't be surprised if you start to see colours and get images, and because just through what you're unlocking with your breath. I mean, how amazing is that?
Definitely. It's one thing that always stuck out from community as well. It's free.
Yeah, that's the thing. This tool is there to calm you down, to pick you up, to get you high, to give you a buzz. Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely nuts. So I'm looking forward to learning more. And like I say, it is one of those things where it wasn't necessarily, oh, that was so enjoyable, because it was like having a workout, but I felt like it was beneficial.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
It's like you don't go and do a spin class and be like, yeah. Even though you did love it, but the whole time your brain was like, get out. Stop this torture right now.
Oh, spin classes are hard.
I don't think I've ever done one. I think I've seen them. They're on the bikes.
You know when you do exercise and you're like, the day after you're like, oh, and then the day after that you're like, oh, it's even worse. 20 minutes after, I felt like day 2 of a workout.
Oh,
I was like, what is happening? My leg's seizing. That was not good. And there's no, you want to sit down, but that seat's horrible anyway. And you're like, I've got the choice between it's just, I couldn't do it. I definitely couldn't do it now. I've not told anyone. I've got the worst pain in my side. I'm not going to go on about it because no one wants to go on about that. But the reason I'm not roller skating this month,
it's for that,
is because of that.
Well, you did actually mention a couple of episodes ago, I need to make a doctor's appointment because I'm getting really bad period pains, and you actually mentioned it. Well, now it's come to a head, and now you're under the hospital care.
Do you know what? I live in that realm of I've got anxiety, so it's probably health anxiety, and then actually something might be wrong. I should go and get some help. / I don't go to people for help because feel bad. I don't like to. It's just. So eventually, I couldn't deny it any longer. New Year's Eve of all times.
Oh goodness me!
And,
but it sounds like an interesting New Year's Eve from what you were telling me earlier.
Maybe Vloggable indeed. There was a sweet couple of ladies, and if anyone knows these ladies, Jill and Audrey from Scrapped Off.
Shout out to Jill and Audrey.
Couple of legends. We need to try and find them.
You're going to hunt them down anyway, aren't you?
100%. But anyway, we need to help people stick to their goals and pick their goals. So,
well, breathwork is my January resolution, and also overall I'm going nicotine and tobacco free, which, look at me, being in a good mood, even though I was terrified that I would be like, by now.
This is what I mean about relating to one of them, how one hasn't really implemented one yet and she's on 2 at the same time. That is not required of you, by the way. This is supposed to be non-pressuring 12 prods.
Please remember that we are still in the winter cycle, which is not an action time. It is all about relaxing, recovering. So don't worry.
Me feel better.
Yeah, and I keep getting really tired and just reminding myself, it's the time of year to be actually kicking back and relaxing.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how well it fits in with. I feel like one of my favourite bits of tips that I saw, it was recently on a reel, and I've got a slight adjustment to what he said.
Yeah.
He said a good way to feel successful at the end of your day is to have 3 main wins: physical win, a mental win, and a spiritual win.
Oh.
So whatever they are within those ones, and I would add one to it being a creative win, whether that is literally having a little 10-minute doodle, or actually illustrating a journal, or creating a really cool art piece, or like I said, creativity is problem solving.
Yeah.
If something happened in your day and someone in your work department came to you and was like, oh, I don't know, and you went, simple like this. That is your creative win for the day.
Like this one, shout out to Lee's sister Katie. I saw her on her Facebook earlier. She hadn't got any sugar, so she emptied the kids' bag of jelly tots and used the sugar from the bottom of that. for a tea.
That is a creative win.
Yeah, exactly. That is a creative solution and a creative win for sure.
It's amazing.
But I was like, I love reading these when people's brains work like that. Like, I haven't got this. What can I do? And they're like, I know what I would do. You know?
Yeah,
and you find a way around it.
And they can come out of the most failure of times as well. You've heard me, haven't you? Like, I'm terrible at washing up. But what did I gain from that? Really good chopstick skills. Because I just kept buying chopsticks and then throwing them out. But creative win.
And that's the thing, it kind of gives it a spin, doesn't it? Where it's not so, like, I don't know, negative or whatever. It
changes that perspective.
So is this a daily, I think I was reading what Pat had said up there. She said about trust your body stuff. She thinks it might be endo. Very common amongst us ladies.
Yeah, it's been
updated.
That's definitely one of the suspects.
Yeah. Yes, might be doing an endo awareness episode very soon.
Wait, I'll take you on the whole journey now. On the 8th, I've got to go for a scan, and I'm just going to film all of it. Let's go.
Yeah, go for it. It might make, it kind of makes you feel better when you feel like you're sharing with the community.
Yeah, definitely. Then when they say, what's your occupation? I'll be like, YouTuber.
Hi. You're on camera.
Frank.
That's what I've seen an increase of on Instagram. People's births. Like, I've seen 2 babies be born.
I thought you meant people just celebrating their birth. Like, this was when I was born. It's my mum's vagina.
Like their actual birth.
People are sharing their birth rather than people are being born more right now.
Yeah, as in people are sharing them pushing the baby into the world.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I'm quite glad I've seen 2 babies be born now.
Maybe put one of them blurred content warning. It's because, like, I like to eat my lunch and scroll.
Yeah, one of them, it wasn't even hidden amongst it. It was literally the first post.
Just blase it, yeah.
I was like, what's that? It's a butt. Then I was like, why is it a butt in a water bath? And I was like, oh my God, it's pushing a baby out. Obviously not out of the butt, but that's all that I could see. But I was like, oh my goodness. And then I was glued to it. Like, I didn't want to watch, but I couldn't not.
I love how you had to specify. Not from the butt.
It looked like it was coming out the butt.
Like, people still watching might be like, what, babies don't come out the butts?
But yeah, if you've never seen a baby be born, get on Instagram. It seems like the done thing to share them now.
I don't shout out if anyone's watched that Kardashian episode where, I mean, they're in there. Courtney is there, and she's like the mum natural one, any of it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Natural. She leans down and pulls this baby out herself. Nick was next to me. He was like, I was like, this is normally what happens on the Kardashians, by the way. I come from the drama. It is like, and some people, have that maternal instinct and they're like, look how beautiful that is, how animalistic, raw, pulling that baby straight from, I'm like, don't give it to me till it's got all the blood off it and it's squealed once. If I can see my insides on its forehead, turn it around, give it a wipe and then bring it back.
Oh.
Maybe just don't have kids.
This is honest to God the reason that I decided they weren't for me. Just the whole thought of growing something inside of you, the lot. I was just like, no.
Well, try something you've never thought.
Watched one come out now. That's as far as it goes for me.
Yeah, if it's happening, then I'm going full, not Kourtney Kardashian, I'm going Kim Kardashian, where I am numb from the waist down. She just kind of goes, and it comes out.
Yeah, don't feel a thing.
So, it comes out.
Kardashians have their babies now.
The ones that showed it online, yeah, by the younger ones came out, they were already like, you've not filmed all of my life, and they like hid their pregnancy and stuff like that. But yeah, if it's reality TV, I've watched it 5 times.
See, I'm not. I do like. I prefer it to be reality TV than made up. If I'm going to watch TV, to be fair.
Yeah.
I just don't get round to it very much. Reading is definitely more of my thing. Which, by the way, actually, another good recommendation. If I know that we've gone off topic slightly with babies being born, but
might be someone's goal.
Yeah, exactly, and that's absolutely fine. I'm reading 2 really good books at the minute. One of them is called The Unexpected Joy of Being Sober. And that if you are sober curious or trying to stay sober or even just intrigued. It's amazing.
It's a good.
And the other, Alan Carr's Easy Way to Give Up Smoking. So both of them have helped me with my journey. And I don't want to sound smug being like, it's me that's done this. It's not, it's the books. So yeah, Alan Carr's Easy Way, if you are looking to give up smoking or drinking, then they're the ones that you want to be getting.
Definitely. Tobacco is on my list, so I'm going to have to borrow that book from you when you're finished with it.
For sure. Honest to God, the book, it's like it rewrites how you think about your habits. And
that's what I need.
Yeah, it undoes the brainwashing. And, it, you know, it's a bit repetitive in a way. He keeps repeating the same points, but that the reason behind it is to really drum those points home.
I mean, that's a very common hypnosis technique. You say the same things over and over. You get it in.
Yeah, and he's trying to undo 20 years worth of brainwashing in one book, so you can forgive him for being a bit repetitive.
Your mind state when you heard it the first time in the book is going to be 10 times different to what it is, you know, 4 times later when he's mentioned the term, and keep being...
It really... I was thinking about it driving over here, just because I'm so proud of myself for how far I've gone without smoking already, and I thought, I'm genuinely going to have to be so honest with you and clear with people that it is the Alan Carr's Easy Way book that's done this, if you know what I mean. This is not by all means... have we still got that? Oh yeah, that's why you just moved it. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse.
No, you're all right. But yeah, so I will definitely be sharing everything that he's taught me. But one of the things that he does say is don't replace it. Don't use a nicotine replacement. So that the necklaces that I got for us, don't use it.
Don't wear it.
Well,
Merry Christmas, but don't use that.
Yeah, well, I read after that basically what he says is if you just make the craving, you're giving strength to the craving. Say if every time you get a craving you had a mint or sucked on a tube that's empty, like as in not even got a nicotine replacement, just a replacement. All you're doing is telling your brain that yes, you have got a craving, and yes, you are missing something.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just ride through the craving, eventually they'll go.
You're not hitting the source of the problem, are you? You're just kind of
replacing it. Yeah.
It's not a good.
So
100%. I like that.
So I've got my necklace hanging on my mirror now as like a reminder. I might wear it, but not use it.
Oh, I like that. Be honest, when I first got it, I thought it was a whistle. Yeah,
it does look like a whistle. At first, that was what I did start with when I was first trying to pack it in last year. I'd got a whistle and I'd carry that around in my pocket and suck or blow on that.
It's an interesting one. I'm quite lucky because I had no choice but to not smoke starting the year in hospital. It was like, it's not like I can...
So, a good kickstart to it kind of thing.
A good kickstart to it. However, I'm being cautious not to fully implement that as the rule for this month because I've got a scan on the 8th. Still, I'm probably going to find it easier to not smoke if I don't put that pressure on myself and then do it next month. While this is happening.
That's what I was just going to say then. Is that are you actually going to use it as a month without something? Are you going to go with that as the tobacco type theme?
I'm going to use it to hold me accountable for the month, and then the rest of the year's on me, baby.
No, fair enough. What about this month then? Have you had a look or a think what you can do this month?
So it's 12... It's always a month with something, right?
Well,
or a week. Because I was going to say, because I haven't got my book this week, to start mine next week.
Well, these don't even have to take a week, because the learn a new something or try something new, it can just be a one-off thing. There's only 4 that have got time restraints on, and that's a week without, a week with, a month without, and a month with. The rest you can do as a one-off or...
So I think I'm going to, and it fits in nicely with what I've been wanting to do anyway, with making more content. Now we've got this new studio set up. I don't know if you can tell. We'll give a better view when we've got we can take a picture of it, show you.
Yeah.
But pick up where you left off. Vlogging.
Oh, nice.
I'm doing it. Again, not daily, because life's still not that interesting. But documenting stuff. Vlogging it, getting that content out on a more regular basis, not long form content like this. Some of you like shorter videos, 10-20 minute things. So yes,
which that reminds me, what are we going to do tomorrow? What are we launching tomorrow? But whilst you're sitting next to me doing your own thing, if you see what I mean, like a lot of when I've reflected on relationships in the past, a lot of my relationships, that's
OBS disconnected and then reconnected again. So I'm sorry if you missed us for a second there. I just want to check everyone's still here with us.
Are you all?
Shout out in the chat if you're still here or if that made you go.
Yeah, hopefully it didn't kick you out.
There's a little few, about a minute for it to catch up anyway. I think we're fine. I think we're all good.
If you're still in the chat, give us a heart so that we know that you're there. But yeah, we were just saying about a new feature that we're going to launch tomorrow night, and it's loosely based around the neurodivergency tendency to focus better when you're being held accountable.
Yeah, it's that mix of like, A, I'd forget to do it anyway unless someone reminded me. B, I'd probably just put the reminder and be like, if no one's there helping you. I've always thought there's stuff that I don't want help doing it. I just want someone to be there while I do it so that it's less boring.
Like getting petrol. That's my biggest one. If I've got someone in the car, I'll go get petrol whilst they're in the car because I hate going to the petrol station on my own, but I think it's just a boredom thing. That's like, it's such a dry job. Like, if someone can come with me, that's so much better.
100%. Mine, cleaning out the fridge, it's something that has to be done regularly just because I don't eat all the stuff that I put in there. It goes bad and for whatever reason. And just like someone else just hold the bag.
Yeah.
And then I can be like, that's bad. That is okay. That can go there. That's bad. And it's just a case of, So let's do it. Let's all do the stuff that we've been needing to do that we don't like doing on our own. It's way better when we've got other people with us. And we'll do it. Parallel projects.
I like it.
Parallel tribe project.
Yeah, something along those lines. If we can think of a name, if any of you have got any ideas. But the idea is that you'll be able to log on. Steph and I will have logged on as well. Are we going to do it through Zoom or YouTube?
And you said you'd set. Did you say you had an idea of setting it up a certain way?
Well, I wasn't sure if. No, what I'd said was, haven't you got Zoom that you can do through this? And I'd log on to Zoom, you'd log on to Zoom, and it'd do it through this. But anyway, don't worry about too much how we're going to do it. But we'll be going live, and the idea is you can join in at the same time and do your project at the same time.
If you go to the Instagram page by tomorrow, then there'll definitely be more of an instruction on how to get there.
Even if for now it's just me being live on the A Different Human Design page and Steph being live on the A Different Podcast page, we'll work
and then
it out.
Joining together on a Instagram, on a live or something like that.
Yeah. But we'll work it out, and I'm sure we'll work it out as the year goes on. But what are you going to do tomorrow then? What's your task or project?
Going to clean out all like the cleaning products under my sink.
Oh yeah,
I got a load of stuff because every Christmas and birthday I get a care package from my parents where it's just like all the like toiletries, cleaning stuff that I'm terrible at buying through the year. And I'm sure other people don't know this, but I love it because I'm like, I'd have to buy foil now for another 2 months. It's just great. But all that stuff has just gone like jumbled into the cupboard. And I don't like it because it's the start of the year and we're starting off already in a jumbled place. So I'm utilising how long are we doing it for?
Well, we'd said 40 minutes because the Zoom shuts down after 40 minutes. So if that was how we were going to do it.
I think 40 minutes is a nice time.
I do.
Well,
it gives you a chance to get started. You don't have to finish after 40 minutes. It's a case of, we'll be like, tally ho, off we go. And I'm sure I'll be continuing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's just to kind of get you going and get you started.
Yeah, and if you are someone that just turns it off and leaves the thing you were doing after, at least you've done 40 minutes of that thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got to be one of the wins.
So, there we go. Mine's sorting everybody's wardrobes out.
Oh!
Yeah, I suppose clothes that don't fit and clothes that are like seasonal clothes.
It's a long job, isn't it? But it's such a useful one because you start pulling out, like you said, all these things. You're like, I forgot I had that top because it was like mushed into all these different layers of washing that you just pile in. So it's a good one, Kat.
It's the thing with having an ADHD brain, isn't it? I love clearing through my room or space or whatever, and then you find so much stuff that you had totally forgot that you'd got, and then you're like, I want to use this, but you almost have to have it out on display for it to be used, else it's just not going to get used, it's going to get forgotten about.
Definitely. These people like a lot of these like closed off living spaces, don't they? Where
Yeah.
these like the door, everything's just behind a door, and I'm like, I would even forget there's a coffee machine in here. That was hidden.
I'd forget there was a TV, and every time I'm determined I'm not going to do it again, I'm like, oh, you forgot that was here last time. This time you're going to use it, blah blah blah, and then I still don't.
Oh, I'm the same. I'll fill my fridge up with nice stuff. Just spend like a good 40, 50 quid at Tesco's or whatever, get home, and then I just forget what's in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and then I'll open it randomly and I'm just like, oh, that fresh fruit I bought.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I bought a pack of grapes the other week, and then it was like I opened the fridge. Oh my god, those grapes are in there. Like, oh, like it's so frustrating because it's just constant. Hey, we've had another shout out for sorting out the airing cupboard as well. That's another one.
That is another one.
And that's because old sheets, old towels, you buy new ones. They you just pile the new ones on top of the old ones without necessarily taking the old ones out.
Ain't it? And if you're like me, an airing cupboard is a good place to just put that bag of stuff that you've collected from around the house anyway, and you're like, can't get rid of it because there's some letters and stuff. You're like, they'll just go in that cupboard. That's my airing cupboard. It's not just towels and beddings, unfortunately.
The doom cupboard.
Yeah, I've got a mini doom bag in every room. It's not just the doom room that is doom. A mini doom bag for every.
Well, this is the thing, because you'd mentioned your doom room last year. So cool saying that. And maybe one of the parallel play sessions can be when we get a bit more into it. Some of the girls can come around and actually help you.
Oh, please, because 40 minutes I'm only.
Yeah, 40 minutes isn't gonna cut it.
Or like for 3 weeks running or whatever it is. How often are we doing this?
It'll be the first Thursday of every month.
Okay, first Thursday every month. So for once a month, for maybe 3 months in a row, I'll be in that doom room and dooming it.
And the cool thing is, it is just making a start a lot of the time, isn't it? Like earlier, I'd got so much I wanted to do today. I got really overwhelmed because, in fact, Mrs. ADHD, that lady on Insta, she had done a similar thing, hadn't she? It's like, I got up this morning, I'm like, I'm going to do this, 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 I'm going to do all these things. And then it gets to like 3:30, 4 o'clock this afternoon, and because I'd planned to do so much, I'm beating myself up then for not doing anything. But when I look at it, I've done loads. Like, I've certainly not done it, like, nothing. But because I'd had these grandiose expectations that I was going to get my whole life in order today and then not managed it, I'm then beating myself up, like...
And that's perfect. I feel like you've just added the side of it that Mrs. ADHD maybe struggles with herself too, where she's like, you knew you weren't going to do that. Like, you're all the idiot because you knew you weren't going to get all this stuff done. Rather than... Because she says, I didn't get any of the stuff that I wanted to do done. I've been doing this, doing that. And it's like... Maybe within those little things that you've just done stuff. Though.
Yeah, you have done stuff. Like, you've still done something that you wanted to do, and that in itself should be enough.
Exactly. And if it means that you've just sat at the edge of your bed in a towel just scrolling, like, stop having a go at yourself.
Yeah,
because
it happens. Yeah.
I feel like that fit in. I was like, wait, does that even line up with what I just said?
Yeah, it's kind of like change because it's going to happen anyway. That is part and parcel of the thing, that change is going to happen anyway. Do you want to have a level of control and be part of that change, or do you just want to feel like life's dragging you along all of the time?
Yeah, ain't it? Are we getting on the bus or are we getting hit by the bus?
Yeah. That reminds me of a lyric that I wrote once where it was, if luck was a bus, then I must have missed it. I love that.
Oh, I like that. It needs to be finished off, though, because you've got a bus now.
Yes, I have got a bus now. I went to see her today. Check that it wasn't flooded and floating away.
Is she good? Is she fine?
She's all good.
Shout out to the UK weather right now.
Yeah, is anybody experiencing some crazy floods? I've just had to drive through one to get here tonight. I hope that you appreciate my commitment, because I was clammy after that experience.
It is one of your biggest fears,
yeah,
isn't it?
I've got a real... My mum messaged me earlier saying, oh, aren't you glad that you bought a bus now, not a canal boat, else you'd have had your first winter, really up against it with all these floods. Oh, it made me feel bad.
You'd be in a field just...
Like, I know that you kind of think, well, you're in a boat, so you've not got to worry, but there's something about floodwater, it just makes me feel so ill.
Yeah, I think it's kind of naive to think, well, I'm in a boat, I'm fine. Like, it's that high, Noah's Ark has just gone past. It's awful around here.
Yeah, it is really bad. I've got my kayaks. I've just not had a chance to check them for leaks. Otherwise, I would have been so tempted, especially you know, the villages that are flooded on the roads, you could literally be like kayaking down the street. That's something I've never done before that I'd like to do.
That's content.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm like, how can we get the kayaks from Blaby to Glenfield by tomorrow? Video me. Actually, I don't want to get sucked down the boat.
How do we turn a fear of floods into, oh my god, I love floods. Get the boats
I
out.
love kayaking, so maybe one day. Oh,
Connected, reconnecting. I'm back.
I've got to take a photo of that. That's horrendous. Oh, damn it. Missed it.
We keep missing you. Sorry if the connection keeps going out. I don't know if it's floods.
It will be the floods. Anstey was left without electric for a couple of hours last night. So there's so much grid work and things going on. It's gonna the internet here is super good.
Yeah, the internet here should really not be struggling. I can see the kilobytes per second. It's a strong when it's happening.
So we're on to the last 5 minutes. I think it'd be a really good place to end with intention setting.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys at home, have a think. What's that one thing that you would love to achieve or to work on, even if that thing is, I want to reduce my limiting beliefs. It doesn't have to be something like I'm gonna climb Mount Everest.
Yeah, a physical action. It doesn't have to be.
It could be. I mean, the trouble is, Lou will know this, but being in the teaching industry, you're constantly told your targets have got to be measurable. They've got to be smart, as in, you know,
Smart goals.
Yeah, and how are you going to measure I am less harsh on myself? I get it. It's hard to measure it.
Yeah.
But the point of intention setting is that you're just putting it out to the universe that that's what, if you'd like to be kinder to yourself, that is your intention. So
Yeah, definitely.
have a little think. If you've got one to put in the chat, put it in. I don't want to put you totally on the spot, but have you got one?
Discipline, I feel like will wrap into every single one of these, because discipline and sticking to things are two conflicting sides of me, but made me think we should do an episode on internal conflicts.
Oh yeah,
Like a creative therapy that we can both literally do live. So
I have a lot of internal conflicts, actually, especially that the other people notice them more than me, because they'll be like, well, that doesn't make sense, because last week you said this and now you say do you see what I mean? And it's like, but that again is, I'm like, that's ADHD. I am 6 people rolled into one.
Exactly.
And I don't know who I'm going to wake up as.
Yeah, it's hard, right? So if we use, it's a form of multimedia expressive therapy where you reset your brain, you think about these two sides of you, and then you think of which is the most dominant side, which one wins the most, which voice is louder, and you will make that your dominant side. So if you're left-handed, that will be your left side. If you find that you just write with your left hand and everything else is your right hand, and whichever's your dominant side, that will be the strong internal side of you. And you try and fully think about being just that person.
Oh wow. Oh,
that is your whole being, and you feel it. What does the smells, how do you how do you go about life, really become that person? And then we express artistically on a page just what comes to you. Does it just do you just want to scratch this graphite through a colour? Do you actually just want to kind of make gentle smudges and touch it with your fingers and stuff? And then what kind of movement does this side of you have? Is it aggressive? Is it like...
So what is the point of the therapy, to kind of unite you, or what?
So a lot of the idea is a lot of these messages in our bodies are stored in such that left side of the brain, that creative side of the brain, and we shut it off with logic. So if we can, through expression, unlock these it helps you reflect, you know what I mean? Because after doing that, you'll center yourself to the middle, and then you'll let your least dominant side do the same.
Oh, okay.
Make sounds, make movements, make the creative expression, and through doing that, using words as well, written words, you can see how these two pair have a relationship and try and have a conversation with each side. So I'm going to sit on one side and I'm going to be like, you always stop me doing what I want to do. Yeah.
And is that do you feel like your dominant side always stops you from doing the things
100%, but then I'm going to be my dominant side and reply back to that side. I don't want to be the strong one.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here, but I seem to be the one that stands first. Am seems. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be each side, and you'll find this. It's beautiful. How like I'm just going over it very quickly, but it is such a good tool.
Shall we do this next week then? Is that what you're
down.
thinking? Yeah, I'm really intrigued because I've always struggled with the two sides of me. You heard when I did that poem, when I read it to you the other week, and it's like I've struggled with my ID since the day that I was born, and it's this struggle between nice and evil. Like I've got horns and an angel halo, so that I could like put my angel halo on and put my horns on. But I've always had this such strong feeling that I'm this person and I'm this person, and they're two very different people, and they're constantly battling.
I love that.
So that would be really interesting.
I want to hear a full conversation from your halo to your horns and back again.
Oh my god.
What's your intentions for this year, and then we'll wrap up.
My biggest intentions is to focus on what we are achieving, and it's been like an ongoing battle for me anyway. I can get really stuck in a rut of, but we're putting in so much effort and blah blah blah, and this isn't happening.
The impatientness.
I think it's probably a bit of impatience, and I always feel unjust. Like this is so unjust. Why are we not getting the results when other people are, and things like that. So for me, my intention, and the thing is, it is something I've been working on for a while. So it's just a kind of continuation of that. Focus on the positives. Don't worry about the, change your perspective and keep your perspective positive, because then that gratitude, like that grateful heart, welcomes more anyway.
I like that. Yeah, try and get that brain to like filter out the negativity and just try and absorb positivity from situations as much as you can. I love that.
Shout out Coops in the chat. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, dude.
Absolute darling. I hope you're doing very well. And James. Oh yeah, and he's saying about the yin and the yang.
The good and the bad, 100%. I got a candle for Christmas, yin and yang, two different sides. And it smells beautiful. Sea salt and vanilla.
Oh wow. And the thing is, we do have to have both balance, and it's the balance between the two, isn't it? It's almost 100%. The feminine and the masculine, or the good and the bad, and which one are you going to feed, which one are you going to allow to be in charge, and things like that. So next week then it'll be very interesting. I'm a bit concerned I've got more than two sides.
That's all right. You can use this technique as many as you want.
Let's like a hexagon.
I know. I've done this with it's called a 2-chair technique. We might have to have a whole group session for you and your personalities. That could be a funny video to film, actually, just as like a joke.
Yeah, definitely. With all my different sides.
Oh, that's hilarious. We've got to do that.
Oh, Happy New Year, everyone. Everyone's wishing each other Happy New Year, right?
Happy New Year, guys.
In the chat.
What are your goals for this year? Has anyone got one of these picked that they're doing for this month, this week?
Yeah, tell us for sure. And
are you like me? You haven't done anything yet?
Well, we had Anna tag us earlier. She had got the book with her pen on the desk at work, so she's carrying hers about, which is really cool. So it's nice to start seeing them in use as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's all the way through this book as well. It's obviously not just these prompts. For anything that you stuck on that you wanted to understand, this one here will give you examples and help you understand what all these things mean.
Yeah.
And Lindsay said last time when we were discussing this, you can cut these out, you can put them in a jar if you want to be a little more risky and spontaneous with it. And then throughout it, you reflect.
Exactly. And
each one will have its own page, and you fill that out.
The idea is that there's a saying where it says nothing really, day by day, nothing really changes, and then you look back and everything's different. And I think if you don't kind of keep up with reflection tools and with journals and things like that, it is a lot easier to fall into that rut of, oh, everything's negative and depressive and nothing's happened and I've not achieved anything. But if you keep something like this, it's a lot easier to see those changes.
Yeah, definitely. My thing is, like, I do it with diaries non-stop. I'll be like, dear diary, for the first 3 days, and then it's like, that diary did not get used again. But I feel like doing it together.
Yes, yeah, it'll keep us on track. That is the idea, that by March, if you're a bit fed up by it, hopefully someone in the group is going to be pulling everybody back round.
Yeah, definitely. And share your reflection here. If there's something that's happened and you're like, oh, guys, I've just figured out that my life changed when this happened. share it.
Yeah, definitely.
We might benefit too.
I love this. Coop's it's got some boring work goals. There's nothing boring about work goals, and to go abroad for the first time. That's a really cool.
That is
a really cool goal.
Awesome one. Yeah. When you travel, the mind broadens so well. Oh, definitely. I love that one.
And it's comfort zone again. Into every time you step a toe outside of it, you will grow.
100%. Grow or die.
So those that have got us on social media, please keep your eyes peeled, because tomorrow we will be.
I'm sorry, cats. To get a job, I want, and to play, and to get my abs back.
Oh, wicked. Getting her abs back. Well,
I love how that's like two very, like, you know, I see one side, I want the job that I want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want it. Because that's important.
Yeah.
Because it's most of your life as you get old.
Job, yeah, the job you want.
And then let's get my abs back. I love that physical win. Yes, get that.
For sure. Well, we want to see before and after photos, Kat.
Yeah. Again, share how you're doing that, because never had abs. It's a way of getting them myself.
Oh,
I'd happily learn. Let's learn from each other. This is so exciting. Return to the stage, clean up my house. I'm not joking, James. I've been making an edit for Christmas, and I almost messaged you to say, "Can I use some of your songs?" Because
it would have.
Yeah, there's the two that you sent for a while ago, and it's always in my head. I think, how cool would that be to use? But I
bottled it.
I did bottle it, yeah. No, because I hate this idea of it being like, oh, please don't. Like, I'd have put it out myself if I'd have wanted to.
Oh,
I mean, and it's just like, so I don't want to put any pressure like that. But return to the stage, please do. And clean up my health. Yes, if you're ever worried that it's just health anxiety, I don't need to go to doctors. Go to the doctors. From me to you, that's my present this year. Go to the doctors.
And thanks, Coops, is shouting me out for smashing Sober Life. I'm loving it, mate.
You have smashed it. Like, well done. 1 year down.
It was just the right direction for me, though, because like I say, I don't feel like it was a challenge.
I think a lot of don't ask. Exactly, respect.
But don't ask, just use. Don't like it.
Oh.
If you get asked, then you risk being told no. That's what I've always been told. Just do it anyway.
That you just brought up like how my mum talks, but don't you dare ask for it, and you're like, nope, won't ask. Oh, full vision. Oh, that's really sweet. Okay, well, you might regret that. No, I'm joking.
It is a wicked track.
Well,
both of them are. They're both wicked tracks. But...
Definitely. And we've got some funny videos from Vlogmas as well. But again, it didn't. It's just postponed because pain.
Well, it's been.
Stop taking up people's time.
I was just gonna say, it's been quite action packed, hasn't it?
I've had a really good episode.
Yeah, I feel even more resolute to my resolutions.
Let's do this. I'm excited. I'm excited to do this episode again next month.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Yeah.
What's happened?
Definitely, and hopefully a few of you will be able to join us tomorrow for our first ever, we're calling it Parallel Play for now, or Parallel Projects, but we're going to have a cool new name for it next month that you're going to help us name.
Yeah, get it in the comments below. What do we call this?
Yeah, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys. And if not, we'll see you next week. But honestly, tune in tomorrow. Let's get some stuff done.
Yes.
Start our goals. Night, night.
Indeed.
I'm trying to find the outro. I'm just trying to make it last longer. Anyway, it's been a good night. See you later.
Oh, this is Steph.
I am Steph. This is Lindsay.
I am Lindsay.
We're a different human design.
And this is a different podcast. Oh, good night.
Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should be love, being fighting. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this?